Good morning, good afternoon, or good evening, traders. This is your weekly wrap. Week ending is Friday, the 8th of August. So let's go and have a look what the week has done, uh, and let's see if we can sort of spot out anything that's happening in our markets. Okay, we're looking at the Australian market right now, the All Ords, and we're looking at a weekly chart. And the first thing we can see right now is you can see down the bottom here, it found quite some support. Now each little bar here is a weekly bar. It's very important to do your analysis on the weekly chart as well. So you can see this week here, this bar here is 1 week. That's what happened last week. We just went literally sideways. Okay, but if you look over here, we can see that we have a significant support. See how it bounced, and then took off to the upside. Once that happens, we can see that over here we can now project a bit of a support. Okay, and that's exactly what happens. It's finding a good support right now where it is. So to me, that's a good sign for at least some upside action. That's a first indication that we might see an up week in next week. So let's have a look at the daily chart and let's see if we can find anything else. Remember, this is that big long-term weekly support line. This trend line down here that we had just then. And if I just draw another trend line, we can see up the top, and I'm just going to draw it down there. And we can see that we had these resistance, and then it came down. Look where it found support, and it found support. So that's support and resistance change roles, and that's exactly what we teach every day in the trading room. But let's have a good look at what's happening here. We can see that we have. If I just delete that trend line and delete those squares, we can see. Let's have a real good look what's happening here. Because if we have a good look at what's going on, we can see, okay, we have a short-term trend line going down. It's bouncing off a short-term trend line, or a trend coming to the downside. It's off a nice weekly support line, but we've made it once, twice, three, four. So we've actually realistically bounced off this level through here 4 times. Okay, there's level through there 4 times. Now that's showing me there's a lot of strength there. There's a lot of buying activity through there. I would see that right now we're at a little midterm support resistance through here. Okay, little midterm through here. See how it found resistance and broke down, came back up, and now it actually this day. Remember, this is a daily chart now, and so it actually broke down, and now we're just going sideways. And this is what happened on the Australian market. But notice over here, notice this little section over here. Notice how the market came up to this section, found resistance, and broke down. If we do break this level, then we have a very high probability chance of it running to the 5,200 mark. Now, let's go have a look at what the Dow has done. We'll look at the Dow. We'll bring up a weekly chart first and make sure we do analysis on the weekly chart. Compress our weekly chart and say, okay, what is the Dow doing? And right now we can see the Dow there's a little bit of support there, and we also have a nice little support through there as well. But notice what the Dow has done. The Dow has actually had an up week, not like the Australian market. The Australian market is just going sideways. But the Dow's had an up week, a really nice up week. You can see this is a weekly chart. This is a weekly bar, and you can see it's opened here, gone down to low, came up high, and closed to the right here at 11,734. Now, once again, we can see the Dow, the US market, already heading up. It's already bounced off its weekly support line and already now making some run to the upside. Now, let's go have a look at the daily chart. Let's see if we can find anything else on the daily chart. We can see that we have a nice trend line coming down through here. And once again, like we saw on the US market, so on the Australian market had this resistance here, and now support here. But notice the Australian market has been bouncing and bouncing and bouncing off the same level, but we see the US market making high lows, where this is the Australian market. Notice the Australian market bounce. The Australian market's bouncing off a same support. It doesn't want to. It's trying not to go higher. But the US market has. It's just got a support, and see how it makes higher lows. This is an indication that it wants to keep going higher. But we had a very powerful. We have a very powerful pattern here. It's called an ascending triangle. Notice how we have a bit of short-term resistance through there. Okay, a bit of short-term resistance. We can see it resisted there, came back down, came back, resistance through there, came back down. Notice how we had a nice trend line to the upside as well. See, okay, bounced off there, bounce, bounce, and finally this big breakout day, this big outside breakout day, and it broke out and it closed above it at 11,734. That is a very bullish pattern to me, and that is indicating to me that we are trying now to push to the upside. We're trying to have a better. We're trying to continue this rally to the upside. And the reason why I call it a rally is because remember, if we look at the weekly chart, we are still in this overall downward trend. We are still bearish in the market, and if you have a look at the market, we are peak, trough, peak, trough, peak and trough. Okay, so if you just look at the major peaks or troughs, we are still lower. Okay, lower peaks, lower troughs, sellers are in control. So this is a rally. Okay, it's a rally in a bearish market. So just be very careful out there, because everyone thinks that this is the turning point. It could be, but until the chart tells us it is the turning point, we're not going to call it a turning point. And we do have indicators on there in the trading room to tell us when it's likely to turn into a bullish market but it is a bearish market. Okay, so right now we're looking at a significant support line, and notice this support back here. Notice how we had resistance, and now we've broken up. So that is telling me that it's trying to go up. That is a very bullish sign. Let's have a look at the S&P. Okay, let's look at the S&P. The S&P has also bounced off its support line and made a run to the upside. This is a weekly chart, a nice run to the upside. Opened here, let me open this chart up, opened here, came down, went up and closed there. Now notice where I got that support line here. Now this is, see where it bounced here and bounced here? This was a support line. All I did was put the support line, and look where it actually made support there again. And this is where we could tell, or get a high probability chance, that it was going to get a significant bounce there. Now if we go look at the daily chart now, this is the daily chart. Have a look what's happening here as well. If we open it up a bit, we can see that we're doing the exact same thing as the Dow. This is the S&P now. We can see that we're making higher lows, higher lows, higher lows, higher troughs, higher troughs. It's showing that the buyers are pushing it up, pushing it up, pushing it up. We can see that we have a short-term resistance through there, and now it's broken above that, and so it's trying to push to the upside. So it does look like we are trying overall, let's go back to our weekly chart, we are trying to overall have an up week. But just remember, there would be a trend line coming in at this way, at this level through here, okay? Between the 13,050 and 1400, closer to the 1400 mark, you'll see a lot of resistance coming there. And remember, we are still in, if we just look at our trend lines through here, we are still in a bearish market overall. So it is just a rally for this time, and we can't call this a bounce and this is the end of the bearish market, start of the bull market, because we can't say that until the charts tell us. Okay, so whoever you listen out there at TV land or on the TV, or someone gives you a tip and say this is the end, this is the bounce, this is, we're going sky high, please don't listen to them. Get educated and learn when it is turning back into a bullish market. And that's exactly what we do every day in the trading room. We teach you exactly what to look for to say, okay, are we in a bearish market or a bullish market? And how can we identify good trading signals? That's exactly what we do in the trading room. So the one thing I want to tell you right now is the Dow and the S&P, the US market, is starting to already push to the upside. It's starting to push to the upside, breaking past some significant patterns. But the Australian market is at a nice weekly support line. Now remember that weekly support line we had through there? And if I squeeze my weekly chart up again, remember this weekly support, and support through here. That is telling me the Dow and the S&P has already gone up, have already pushed to the upside. But let's look at what's going on the Australian market. The Australian market is at support and it hasn't even gone up yet. So that's telling me that we're likely to have a bit of a run to the upside this coming week. So, but that's what the charts are telling us. But please do not take that as just a recommendation. Make sure you got your indicators going for you. Make sure you got volume going for you. And please get a coach and mentor. And that's exactly what we do with the Planet Wolf trading room. Okay, so please make sure you do that. Don't just go long based on this analysis alone. Make sure you got everything lined up first. Please do not take this as a tip. Make sure you have every single thing lined up. Make sure you have the absolute odds on your side, because we have absolutely huge volatility in the market. We're down 300 points one week, we're up 200 points down one week. There's so much volatility in this market right now, but we need to sort of take control of what we're doing and make sure we're trading high probability trades. Please be careful in the markets right now, the rough and tumble markets, but we can make money out of the markets. You can identify good trades, and you can actually be a long-term success in this market, and that's why we have the Planet Wealth Trading Room once again. Please look after yourself this week. Be well, and we'll see you all next week. Trade in the stock market is risky and can cause substantial financial loss. We do not claim or guarantee your profit from the information provided. The information in these videos is meant for educational purposes only. That being said, I've been trading the market profitably for many years, so please do your own homework and make sure you look after your current financial situation.